Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, NBAA responds to FAA proposal on New York slot limitations. XCOR makes progress on Lynx Mark I spacecraft. Ohio strikes back at Connecticut's claim that the Wright Brothers were not the first. I'm Bree Cross. It is May 13th, 2015, and this is Airborne Unlimited. The FAA is proposing to limit the number of unscheduled flight operations at 3 airports serving the New York metropolitan area, and the NBAA is not happy. NBAA contends implementation of the new rules will negatively impact a broad range of aviation operations that have not been shown to cause any delay or congestion at these airports. The proposed slot restrictions would limit unscheduled operations at Newark Liberty Airport to 1 per hour. Unscheduled slots would be limited to 2 per hour at John F. Kennedy International Airport. The FAA also proposes to maintain the current limitations on unscheduled operations to 3 per hour. The slot restrictions raise a safety concern as well, according to the NBAA. Large airports such as JFK, Newark, and LaGuardia remain attractive safety options for business aircraft operators facing deteriorating weather conditions. The proposed change in slot allocation will affect the availability of these airports. NBAA opines that the FAA did not perform an analysis on the safety impact of reducing unscheduled slots. They also point to the negative economic impact these changes will impose on general aviation FBOs operating at these 3 airports. XCOR Aerospace takes another step forward as they have now bonded the XCOR Lynx Mark I strakes to the Lynx spacecraft fuselage. XCOR Chief Technology Officer Jeff Greason said that with the strakes bonded to the Lynx, quote, "We have an open path towards the integration of a number of subsystems, and this means we will now start electrical wiring, plumbing, installing the control system, and populating the landing gear bays," end quote. The strakes make up a large portion of the Lynx aerodynamic shell. Each strake contains fuel tanks, a main landing gear assembly, and 2 reaction control thrusters. After the break, the argument of who flew first continues.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, NavCom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Well, this is a continuing story, and it needs a prologue to understand what is happening now. The state of Connecticut Legislature officially recognized their citizen, Gustav Whitehead, as the first person to make a controlled flight in a heavier-than-air-powered aircraft 2 years before the Wright Brothers. The National Aviation Heritage Alliance, known as NAHA, and the Ohio State Legislature disagree with Connecticut's action. And so the story continues as NAHA has now written to a Connecticut state senator and publisher of the IHS Jane's All the World's aircraft, asking them to reveal the evidence they claim to have that Gustav Whitehead was the first in flight. NAHA's letter coincided with the Ohio House of Representatives' passage of a bill repudiating Connecticut's claim that Whitehead, quote, successfully flew a powered heavier-than-air machine of his own design on August 14, 1901, or on any other date, end quote. I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the future. With some 2,000 Aero-TV programs webcast to cyberspace, sometimes it can be fun to look back and enjoy some of the places we've seen, the flyers we've met, and the planes we've flown. Here's a look at one of our favorite Aero-TV classic episodes.
We have a firm belief in the 47s that there's a viable marketplace out there, and we really believe in the product.
A really good product stands the test of time, and such is the case with the Bell Model 47 helicopter. The type certificate for this fine machine has been passed along to the Scott's Bell Company, and this video tells the story of how this iconic helicopter continues to live on. Search Scott's Bell 47 on Aero-TV's news channel. After these messages, astronaut Mark Kelly to speak at NBAA conference.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B ATX-100 and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Captain Mark Edward Kelly, U.S. Navy retired, will be the keynote speaker at NBAA's 2015 Flight Attendants and Flight Technicians Conference in June. Kelly is a decorated pilot who flew combat missions in Iraq and also is a former NASA astronaut. A jury has awarded $7.8 million to Drone Technologies in a patent dispute with French UAV manufacturer Parrot. The U.S. company claimed infringement on 2 of its patents related to control of the aircraft using smartphones or tablets. Helicopter Maritime Strike Wing Pacific hosted a sundown ceremony for the SH-60B Seahawk helicopters at Naval Air Station North Island in Coronado, California. After 30 years of active service, the SH-60Bs are being replaced by the MH-60R Seahawk. Textron Aviation welcomed more than 500 Beechcraft, Cessna, and Hawker aircraft operators at the Textron Aviation Customer Conference in Wichita. This was the first joint customer conference since the Beechcraft, Cessna, and Hawker brands combined last year. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. Okay, race fans, the season is about to begin. The only international multiple air racing series in the world, Air Race 1, is set to begin on June 7th in the resort town of Montesur, Tanzania. The next race takes place in Yata, Canaluna, Spain on June 28th, and the final race will be held in Reno, Nevada during the Reno Air Races on the 20th of September. The World Cup trophy of Formula Air Racing will be handed out at Reno for the first time to the overall winner. The Air Race 1 World Cup is a class of air race based on a set of rules or formula that define how the aircraft are built. All the airplanes are built to the same specification and raced at speeds of up to 240 knots on a closed oval circuit around a set of pylons. It's a competitive motorsport where the first to cross the finish line wins. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily, Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.